Welcome to the Flora podcast, a place where we help you create a life you're excited about. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is about personal decluttering. So from now on, since I am doing business decluttering episodes, I will preface each of the episodes by letting you know if it is a business decluttering series or personal decluttering series. And today is going to be a personal decluttering episode. So, what to do when life feels messy and chaotic and overwhelming, and every single day it seems like there's another plot twist where something doesn't go as planned or shit goes sideways and you're just like, ugh, are you kidding me? Or you wake up and you're exhausted because you didn't get enough sleep the night before. What do you do? That's what this episode is all about. And it's going to be short, sweet, and to the point. Hopefully I won't get on a huge tangent, but y'all know me. So one of the easiest ways to address when life gets messy, when shit goes sideways, and when you're just sitting here with a million things to do and you're like standing in the middle of your room going, I don't even know what to start. I don't even know where to begin. So I'm going to give you a couple of options. Take the one that feels the most in alignment with you. The first option is to do a 10-minute quick clean. The second one is to do a brain dump. Now, the brain dump I talk about in my book, The 1 Degree Shift. The link for that is in the show notes. First, we're going to talk about the 10-minute quick clean. This is something I invented when my kids were very, very little and we needed to clean the house, and I didn't want to do it by myself because 90% of the mess was their toys and their whatnots. And I didn't want to be the bad guy. So what I did was I set the timer for 10 minutes and I'm like, all right, boys, we are going to race the timer and see how much we can get done in 10 minutes. So this is what we need to do. We need to pick up the toys. We need to put our clothes away. We need to just basically tidy the house. Sometimes I would give very specific instructions, like we're going to, focus on folding the laundry, or we're going to focus on picking up the toys or whatever. But they knew when that timer dinged, we had to try to be finished with everything that we could. Now, if we weren't finished, I didn't make a big deal about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, the timer went off, and I made it really fun and playful. And they loved it, and it was a game. And that way, I wasn't the bad guy. I wasn't the bad guy telling them, you have to do this in 10 minutes or else, because that doesn't work. I mean, if you have kids, you know that doesn't work. So, years go by. I'm an empty nester, and I found myself having a really untidy place. Now it's clean, but just untidy. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to re-implement the 10-minute quick clean. So I took out my timer. And if you guys have been watching me, you know that I'm a huge fan of using the timer to help keep me focused because I'm very ADHD. So I took my timer out, set it for 10 minutes, did a quick 10-minute quick clean, and was like, oh, that feels good. But you know what? I want to address this room. So then I set the timer again for 10 minutes. And then I did a quick tidy. Why is this so effective? Well, environmental clutter, the clutter that we see, impacts our stress hormones, aka cortisol. The more cortisol we have running through our body, the less reason and logic that we use, because we go into that primordial part of our brain where we literally go into just seeking out ways to stay safe and whatnot, because there's cortisol running through our body. So when you do a 10-minute quick clean, what this does is it reduces the amount of environmental stuff that you're seeing. Typically, when you do a 10-minute quick clean, you're picking up, you're tidying the pillows and the blankets, you're maybe vacuuming, you're putting stuff, all the laundry from the floor onto the basket or into the washing machine. You wash the dishes, you put the dishes away, you wash the counters. This greatly reduces that environmental clutter, which greatly reduces cortisol. This is one of the fastest, easiest ways to calm the chaos, to calm the shitstorm when things go sideways. Again, reason being is because it reduces the amount of cortisol that pumps through our system. The more that our body or that our mind and senses have to process, the less kind of brain power that we have. And again, I explain all the science behind this in my book, The 1 Degree Shift. So try that. If you're feeling overwhelmed, like life is really freaking messy and you're like, oh my God, I have so much to do and I can't figure out what to do. And you almost feel like helpless. Trust me, life happens. And the most successful, the most empowered, the most confident women have this issue. So that's my first strategy. Do the 10-minute quick clean. My second strategy is to do a brain dump. And I outlined this in my 1 Degree Shift book. So this is how to do it. Grab a notebook or several pieces of paper. Sit down with your favorite writing utensil. The reason why that I say your favorite writing utensil is because if you use one that you are not particularly fond of, it's going to bug you when you're doing this process, okay? You're already irritated enough when you sit down to do this, feeling overwhelmed and whatever. So if you're using something that doesn't slide on the page, that's clumpy, that runs, that's not sharp, if it's a pencil, it's going to bug you and it's really going to deter this process. Trust me, I've done this with hundreds of my clients. So sit down with your favorite writing utensil and just write out all the stuff that's in your head, all the things that are bothering you, all the things that are irritating you, all the things that are making you feel overwhelmed, all of your to-dos. And not just your regular to-dos like, oh, I have to do the laundry and I have to bring the car in for an oil change. Do those silent to-dos. Oh, there's a painting on the wall that I don't like anymore and I've been meaning to take it down and donate it to Goodwill or sell it on Marketplace. And there's a dresser that I've been meaning to get rid of. I need to empty that. And, these are all the little tiny things that are running through your head that you want to do or that you need to do, but you haven't maybe written them down yet. During this brain dump, write it all out. Like, get it all out. All of it. Then, once you've written everything out, all of it, then give yourself just a hot second to just take a deep breath. Notice what it feels like to get it all out of your head. And then the next thing is I want you to look at the list and say, okay, what are the top 10 things on this list that are stressing me out? Not that are the most important, not that you quote unquote want to do or need to do. This is we're specifically looking at stress. What are the top 10 stressors on this list? So look through the list and mark your top 10 stressors, okay? Now, some people will rewrite these on a brand new list. Others won't. Do what you'd like. Once you get your top 10, look at it and say, okay, out of these top 10, what are my top 3 stressors? And then narrow that top 10 list down to 3. And then once you narrow it down to your top 3, say, okay, out of these 3, which one of these is stressing me out the most? Then address that. And it might not be what you think it is or what you think it should be. The first time I did, well, actually not even the first time, because I've done this for years and years and years. But one time in particular, I did this and I talk about this in my book. The one thing that was stressing me out was cat litter on the floor. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, seriously? That is what's stressing me out the most? But then I thought about it and I'm like, yeah, it's like that little irritation that's always present. And that saying the straw that broke the camel's back. Yes, it's these tiny little stressors that sometimes make life unmanageable. It's not the big thing. Yeah, the big things do matter, but it's those tiny things, those tiny, almost and seemingly insignificant things that just get us. And it's like, seriously. So today, give yourself permission. If you're feeling stressed out and overwhelmed and like life is too damn messy and shit keeps going sideways and you get all these plot twists going on and you're just like, oh, I don't even know which way is up. Give yourself a hot second to stop. Take a deep breath. Look around your room. And then ask yourself, what am I guided to do first? A 10-minute quick clean or a brain dump? If you still don't know and you're just like, I don't even know, do the 10-minute quick clean, because that gets you into action and you can see the results immediately. So let's just say right now you're listening to this in your living room and you look around and shit's everywhere. Like you've got magazines all over the place. Maybe you just did your vision board. You've got blankets and pillows everywhere. The remote is all over. You got a couple dishes from last night's dinner, maybe a wine glass or two, or maybe a pop can. Maybe you got a couple shoes on the floor. Maybe your bag is out. Cat and dog toys. Whatever. Books everywhere. Perfect. Okay, set your timer for 10 minutes and focus on just tidying up the room. Just tidy it up. And then look around as soon as you're finished and be like, damn, this looks good. This feels good. And notice how it feels in your body. It legit is a tangible feeling. It's so good. Allow yourself to feel that shift. Now, typically, what happens, and this is very cool, I love that this happens, is you do one room for the 10-minute quick clean and you're like, damn, that feels good. And you're like, what other room is just exploded or untidy? Find it and tackle it. Now, the cool thing is when you're really focused, it doesn't even take 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes 20 or 30, but typically just a 10-minute quick clean or quick tidy is all it takes to just tidy up that room enough to all of a sudden you feel really good and not stressed out when you walk into it. Maybe you walk into the bathroom. I'm going to walk into my bathroom right now. And I just did this all around my house. And I'm like, I need to share this with my audience again. And my makeup and all my toiletries and everything were all over the counter. And I was like, oh, hell no. No, because we have a smaller bathroom. And I'm like, no, I don't like this. And it literally took me 2 minutes to tidy up the counter and wipe down the sink and the vanity and the mirror. 2 minutes, I timed myself. Because sometimes it seems like it takes a lot longer than what we think it does. And one of the things that I've been sharing with my clients for the last 25 years is if you're dreading doing a chore or something in your life, time yourself. See how long it actually takes you so that the next time you go to do it, you know how long it takes you to do something. Like for me, if I have 2 sinks full of dishes and the kitchen is just a mess, how long does it actually take me? It takes me 15 minutes start to finish. 15 minutes. Now, yes, I've decluttered, I've minimized so that it happened, so that's actually doable. Back in the day, it would have taken me an hour because I had probably 8 times more stuff than what I have now. And the volume of stuff will impact how long it takes you to actually declutter and to do the things that you do. So if you find that when you're doing your 10-minute quick clean or your brain dump, and you find that one of the things that's on your list is clutter, get out that Goodwill box or the donate box. It doesn't have to be Goodwill. It can be whatever, thrift store or secondhand store or charity or whatever. But go get a box. Mark it, label it for donation, and put it someplace where you can see it every day and just make a point to fill it up. This is one of the things, hands down, my clients love. I've been doing this for as long as I can remember. Have a box in a central space, put something in it that you're going to donate. Your other family members will take the lead. And especially if clutter is one of the things that is stressing you out and causing turmoil in your life or fights to happen or whatever, put that box out and start filling it. It can be one thing a day. It can be 2 things a day. There's a declutter challenge on YouTube where people for a month will donate the same number of things as the day of the month. So on the first, they do 1 thing. On the second day, they do 2 things. The third day, they do 3 things. The fourth day, they do 4 things. By the end of the month, I think it's like 400 and some or 500 and some items that they've gotten rid of. So if clutter is one of those things, give yourself permission to implement the box in your home. Let me know how this works out for you, okay? Let me know. Again, the 10-minute quick clean and the brain dump. And again, if clutter is one of those things that just continuously gets in the way, implement the box. Implement the box. Now, if you haven't listened to several of my previous podcasts, I wanted to let you know that I do have accountability coaching sessions available. Accountability coaching is when we have access with each other, voice access with each other, Monday through Friday for the month. I have a couple spots left. It's a very low cost option if you want to have personal coaching and have not been able to afford it in the past. I also am offering this month single coaching session. Well, actually single sessions. You don't have to use them for coaching. You can use them for business, personal, energy work, readings, decluttering guidance. I do have a limited number of spots of these, but these are only $99. I can't remember the last time I offered something that inexpensive. Both of those links are in the show notes. If you've wanted to work with me, if you've wanted my guidance, if you've wanted to pick my brain and you want support, I've been doing this for 25 years. There's nothing that I haven't. Allow me to support you. Allow yourself to get unstuck. You're listening to this because you want a shift. That's what this whole podcast is all about. Helping you figure out what you want and where you are and clearing that messy middle so that you can align into that life and a business, if you have one, that you love. Okay, and we do this 1 degree at a time. All right? Okay, if you're interested, click the links in the show notes. If not, I will see you in the next podcast episode. Remember, all it takes is the willingness to get clear about what you want and the willingness to take a baby step every single day, that little 1 degree shift, so that you can align into a life that you love. I hope this serves you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Mwah! Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. All links mentioned are in today's show notes.